Right, so this is your test that you did on Friday. So we'll just do it. I'll go over it, and you can use this to basically mark your own, okay? And then I'll have a wee look to see how you get on. So the first one, 25, you want it in binary, right? So there's two ways of doing this. First way is you try and trick somebody into telling you the answer, or you can actually suss out how you do the answer yourself, right? So first thing you do is you just, at the top, you just write down what consists of binary in terms of, remember, in primary schools you'd have done units, tens, hundreds, thousands, because it was decimal, goes up in factors of 10. Binary goes up in factors of 2, so that's why it's units, 2s, 4, 8s, 16s, 32s, etc. And all we do is we try and look at 25, and we try and represent using ones and zeros what 25 is in binary. So we just look at what numbers can fit into 25. So 1 to 8 can't fit into 25, 64 can't, 32 can't, but a 16 can. So if you get a 16 into 25, what we've got left is a 9. So 8 goes into 9. 0 doesn't go into 1 because we've got 1 left, 0 and 1 goes into 1. And you know it's correct. If you add 18 plus 8 plus 1, that gives you your 25. Okay, so you're just looking at what number goes into the number you're wanting, and if you find that it does, then obviously you just take it away, so you'd be left with 9 there, 8 goes into 9, so that's why you'd be left with 1 there, 4 doesn't go into 1, 2 doesn't go into, but 1 goes into 1. Right, so that's the first one. Explain why this telephone number would not be in a numeric field. Right, it's a wee space there. Okay, so that's where the problem is, right? So it's stored as text rather than a numeric data type or field type because the telephone number has a space. To say this is not valid in a numeric field. So you actually have to justify, you're spotting it out, but you actually have to say, well, why is that not good? Right, here's another one, and they're talking about here, just talking about adjustable workstations. You've got chairs that you can move the height to prevent backache. Name another workstation features. So you can got the ergonomically designed keyboard, but you have to say, not just name it, but you have to describe it. Now that's only worth 1 mark, so it is quite a lot to do for it, but that's where you're getting the marks from. So you might say, what about an adjustable monitor? Right, so adjustable monitor. Right, so if you've got a monitor that you can adjust, what might that prevent? So you could say prevents neck strain. So it is not the best having 2 points for the 1 mark, but I'm afraid that's what they've chosen. Next one, right, is identify the file type. Now the file type's always got a bit at the end of it, right? Like .mp3, .doc. This is the file extension, okay? So it's an HTML file. Right, so that's the file type, HTML, for making web pages, right? Next one, denial of service attack. So remember, this is when you've got your server and you've got all these clients sending data to it, trying to crash it, okay? So essentially your denial of service is the server is flooded with a large amount of requests. So the server is flooded with a large amount of requests. Obviously you don't need it word for word, but what your answer should be meaning the same thing. So the server is flooded with a large amount of requests. Right, and how would it affect the user? So imagine there's a web server, Amazon is getting flooded during Christmas, or they run up to it, and it crashes. Obviously the website's not available. Right, so basically the server is unavailable to user. This is when they try and bring down our website so nobody can use it. Okay, right, so that's the first page. Right, here's a nice wee database. Speaking of Christmas, right, you might get yourself a camera. Right, so hopefully it's focused enough. Right, it's asking how's this database sorted. Now, a lot of you would straight away have looked and you'd have looked at the different headings and seen megapixel, and you'd have thought, great, sorted in megapixel. Then you'd have written your answer and you wouldn't get all your marks because it's not just sorted in megapixel. If you look at, say, the ones at 16, right? So if you look at the ones at 16, what you'll probably find is even the prices are sorted as well. So these prices are actually sorted. If you look at 14, look at the prices there. I think this is going to focus a wee bit. I'll just try and change it. Right, so if you look at the ones in 14, then that's going up in price. So the numbers here are going from high to low, right? So if it's high up to low, that's high to low is descending. Oops. Try and spell it properly this time. Okay, so that's descending, and if it's these ones are going from low to high, so that's ascending. So there's actually two parts to this. So basically, sorted in ascending order on the price field, and so again 2 marks for quite a lengthy answer, and sorted in descending order on the megapixel field. Now you could have it the other way around. Probably I should have actually started saying sorted in descending order on the megapixel field and sorted on ascending order on the price field, right? But that's for your 2 marks. Okay. Benefit of biometric security. So that's retina scanners and that's your fingerprint, right? So that's unique to everybody, right? Just like that finger's unique, right? So that is unique to everybody. So describe one benefit of using, okay, let's say physical attributes. Are unique to each person. So that means you've got different retinas. The back of the eye is unique to you, your fingerprints are unique, okay? And that's why it's more and more often. And the fact that you've always got your fingerprints with you, you might forget your password, you might forget a wee PIN number that you have to type in for your email, right? State one issue that you should be considered when you're disposing of old equipment. Well, make sure the hard drive is erased, okay? So make sure hard drive is erased. You also want to make sure that you take out everything that can be recycled, all the valuable metal, okay? But and make sure if the hard drive's there, that there's no personal data. So you want to either try and erase it using software or just physically destroy it. Right, you've got a file server through Nextdoor and it basically holds all your My Documents and it allows you to access the files. So describe the role of the file server in a client server network, okay? So they basically, the server allows access to the network and its files and programs, okay? So the server next door allows you to get onto this network to watch this video, and it allows you to access the media player that you're watching the video on, and if if you're typing in any answers, Microsoft Word. Okay, so that's the role of the server. So think of it serving you, so it allows you to access resources. Right, so that's the second page. Right, here's a program. If you look at it, you probably know not much what it does, because it's got wee funny variable names like n, and it's quite hard to see. There's a kind of for if. It's quite hard to actually see if there's any loops, and that's because it's not readable, because it's not got sensible variable names, doesn't have any comments, and it doesn't have any white space or indentation. Okay, so we could say sensible variable names could say white space, right. It's the worst spelling of sensible I've ever seen. Right, sensible variable names, white space, you could say comments, so there's 3, right? 3, since I mucked up the spelling of that. Okay, so, and indentation, right? So you should really be indenting this as well. PDFs, now what the past papers you'll find they come in PDF format. Why they publish in PDF? What advantage? Okay, they're standard file format. That just means any computer system should be able to open it. Standard file format. Okay. Next one. Right. Did this not that long ago. Right. So you've got a smartphone. I forgot to have the whole picture, so you're missing 2 icons, which wasn't the best idea I've had. Right. And that's been developed for tourists, so why is it good to be on a smartphone? Remember, you've got a map. You had some other icons as well. Well, user interface, was it good for us to be in a phone? Okay, well, if you're a tourist, you want to be carrying the device about with you, and a phone's good for that. Okay, so the phone can be carried around. It has an internet connection. You can see it can also be used to make phone calls. Okay, it also has GPRS. Right, so if you're using this map app on it, then it'll be good if it actually gives you a true position of where you currently are. If you're using maps and you're on a desktop or a laptop and you're sat in an office, well, it's not actually showing you where you currently are. Right. Speaking of standard file formats, what one can you use for storing photographs? Yeah, like a JPEG. You could say GIF as well if you want. So that's good for photographs. That's good for reanimations or just kind of cartoon quality. Right, resolution of photographs is reduced to make the file size smaller. Explain why the file size is reduced when the resolution is reduced. Okay, so the number of pixels that are saved is less. So you're actually saving less pixels, and each pixel requires some binary to save it, and that means the file size goes up. Okay, so if you reduce the resolution, you're reducing the number of pixels, so you're not having to save as many. Right, looks a bit complex, but when you actually get the hang of it, you'll be fine. Right, so here's a wee roadmap, and then calculation. Basically, it just calculates the journey between these bits A and B and C and D, right? And it just says here the map is showing 23 miles, so how you get from A to D, right? Okay, so that's 23 miles. So 12 plus 7 plus 4, that's 23. Just in case you didn't believe it. Right, so just asking you there, what variables, even try a different pen, right? So we're going to have the total, that's one variable, destination's another, and think of what else you're going to do. is you're going to have distance, okay? So destination, I would imagine, would be like A, B, C or D. Your total is your total miles, and your distance is basically the distance you go along the road. So what we could do is we'll say the first one's total. Right. Now, what's that going to be? That's going to be an integer. It's just going to be a whole number. Right, I can't see anything 7.5. Next one, destination. Right, that's going to hold, what will that hold? That's just going to hold a letter, right? So we'll call that string. And we have total, no, we've done total. We've now got distance as well. And that's going to be integer as well. Right, so that's it. Remember, mark things out in your paper, right? Because you will be answering on the paper, so mark it out if it makes things easy for you. Even bring in a highlighter. Right, what we've got here is a wee website, and it's about some brochure. Hyperlinks are used to check if it goes to the correct web page. Okay, describe one other test you should take place when this website was developed. You want to make sure that username and password work. Okay, so make sure you can log in. Right, so basically, make sure login works. Make sure the shopping basket works so you can order now. Okay, so make sure order now works. You want to make sure all the images are showing up. Okay, all the internal links. So that's external link takes you to another website, a web page within another website. There's just internal links as well. Okay, so that'll no doubt have a shopping cart. Okay, so that'll have a wee shopping cart. So you want to make sure all these work. I explain using examples the difference between internal hyperlink and external one. So we can say our sponsors website external, and it takes you to another website, takes you to another website. And we'll then just say what's on, if you can actually see it, what's on internal. And that takes you to a web page within the site, takes you to web page within site. Right, so that's again, it's a lot right for 2 marks, but again, that's what they're asking for. Right, so remember, always talking about using examples, right? Read the question a couple of times just to make sure you're not just stating 2 links and no actually, or just stating what the difference is without giving examples. Right, here's one that's to do with cars. Now, in terms of a piece of hardware, if you actually connect a piece of hardware to a computer, right, a computer and hardware need to be able to talk to each other, and we use something called an interface. So when you connect your phone onto your computer, and you're maybe transferring files from the computer to your phone or phone to computer, you're using an interface, right? What we've also got is we've got a wee program, so this is a bit more in depth. So you've got a wee program here. For safety reasons, the brake should be applied if the car is less than 30 miles an hour. Okay, so if the distance between the car is less than 15 meters, but they're just going to get the cars to brake is what if it's actually going less than 30 mile an hour, because they're not wanting the car to actually brake the car if it's going very fast, because there'll be an accident. Okay, so we look at the wee errors and we look at where it's occurring. Right, so receive speed, receive distance. Well, line number. So these are 2 errors, right? They've given you 4 lines, but there's error 1, error 2, and they've given you 2 lines, so it's not the best way out. First error is if the car's going less than 30 mile an hour and the distance is less than 15, so that should be an and, right? So line 3 and or should be an and. So I'm not sure why they've actually given you 2 lines, okay? And the last one is basically saying keep on braking, right? So it should be keep on braking until the speed of the car is 0. What they've done is say keep on braking until the speed of the car is 100 miles an hour, okay? Which can't be right. So this is line 7 until speed equals, right? So 100 should be 0. Right, and that's your 2 wee errors. Right, we're nearly there. This is talking about normal and extreme test data. Right, so the cut-offs were like 13, 15. Right, so this is called extreme. Right, so it's basically the data that's the cut-offs, like the boundary. No, that's normal test data. I dare say that's pretty normal. Right, doing 45, obviously breaking the speed limit. Exceptional is if you've got the speed is 200 miles an hour and the distance is minus 5 metres, right? So it's invalid as daft data, but it should still actually be able to cope with that. Explain the purpose of a fully tested program using a variety of test data to make sure the program works. Okay, to make sure right. And we've got these. This line shouldn't be there in the first place. Right, but you've used some of these functions before. Right, you've done random generating a random number, and these are called predefined functions. That just means that the folk that made Visual Basic, they've made these functions for you to use. Predefined functions. Right. And the last one is difference between USB 3 and USB 4. Well, if you've got something at home that uses either of these, you'll find USB 3 has faster data speed. Okay, so you can save or read or write to a device using USB 3 a lot quicker than you can to USB 2. And that is the end. Oh, 23 minutes, 25 seconds.